What's up, DTube? What's up, Steam blockchain? Today I want to talk about services that will be free very soon. So I take a look at technology, I take a look at where things are going basically. I see overall trends in the industry. So services that will be free very soon. Let's take a look at media first of all. So with the invention of the internet, that you can share everything easier, much more abundantly, bits, gigabytes, megabytes, it wants to be shared freely. So for example, services that I would say is going to be free very soon, that people are paying right now, even though people are just paying a small sum for it right now. So we have services like Spotify. So you're paying around maybe $10 a month to listen to thousands or maybe even millions of songs for free, or no, not for free, for $10 a month. This is something that clearly is the cost of this, it's heading to zero. You can already right now, for example, you can go to YouTube and you can watch music videos, obviously with some ads, and but you can sort of simulate almost already all the songs that exist on Spotify usually exist on YouTube already. So they're the cost of maybe listening to songs, even though some ads, let's say it's around $1 if you would add up all the ads, and for a whole month, if all the music you listen to on Spotify for a month, if you listen to that on YouTube instead, maybe like $1 in ad cost. So we can see that services like media, music streaming, this is heading to zero in cost eventually. I mean, it's getting very, very, very close to that. Eventually it's going to hit zero because they're going to sell you something else. So music clearly is going to be free, because we can already see it, for example, on services like DTube, where you actually get dripped out these tube tokens just by being a consumer. So you're getting paid tokens to use consume content, and those tokens have real value right now on the market. So they are already proven that the model works, that you actually get paid to consume, you get paid in tokens. So we can see that Spotify, you're going to be paid in tokens to eventually to listen to music. You're not going to have to pay a service, and this is just going to happen naturally. Then we have other services like media services, let's say Netflix, which they also have some cost, maybe $10 or $15 a month, even though, yes, it's more premium material, but this is also heading to zero cost eventually, because they're going to make, eventually there's going to be some token that you're going to get, and you're going to consume high quality video content, not just amateur content, but high quality video content. You're going to be paid tokens that. So every consume based thing on the internet, you're going to get tokens for it. We can already see it right now on the Steam blockchain. You can get paid for walking every day. And this is just the beginning, right? This is just the beginning. So we can see that media, both music and video form content, nobody's going to pay for this eventually. Now we don't know exactly how they're going to get in revenue, but the thing with all these big companies is that usually these days they don't expect to make a revenue profit for many, many years, because they have high level investors that are super patient, and eventually they figure out some sort of model that works. Even with YouTube, I don't even think they still make a profit, because they have all these other things that they're getting profit from, so they can have these services running for a long time as just experiments. And yeah, so both video and music is basically services that you're not going to have to pay for in the future, because the token system is going to benefit both, not just you is going to get the token, but the creators of that video or music material also is going to be shared out tokens. And the tokens, the key thing with that is it's going to have more leverage for all sides. So those are two things that where the cost is heading towards zero. And then we have, for example, transportation. So services that has lowered the cost of that. So first we can see that people used to buy a car, and maybe that costed like $30,000 or something like that. Then people did the taxi thing, okay? And then the cost was maybe $15, $20, $25 for a taxi ride, okay? That's interesting. And then something like Uber comes, and I can take an Uber ride and it only costs me $3 to $4. So transportation is also a service that is also heading towards zero in cost. It might be hard for people to understand why this is happening, but it's because it's many things that are going on, like the cost of producing something is going down, and that you're also researching right now how you can create sources of abundant energy, so you can harness energy much better. So the more energy you have, the more you can give out services for basically free, and then they find some other way to monetize. But these regular things that people are doing, many services, the cost of it is going to zero. So transportation, music listening, video listening, and just in general knowledge, everything is heading towards zero in cost, which obviously is very interesting, because then people will have more disposable income available. And this is something that we can also see. I read a book about it where you can see that the amount of disposable income that each person has been growing the last 50 years. So people have more disposable income that they actually don't have to spend. Disposable income is basically stuff that you have over after you paid for the base level needs, like food and shelter and things like that. So people have more value that they can spend on fun stuff, basically. But even the fun stuff, the cost of that is going down towards zero. So people are going to have even more disposable income than they already have right now. So that's a very, very interesting sort of trend that is happening. We can also see, so another thing that's also going towards zero is communication, basically. So people right now are paying cell phone services, cell phone providers. They're paying that. Some are even paying, like, let's say $100 a month, even to this day, 2018, to basically be able to contact people. But even this cost is heading towards zero, because, for example, why do you need a SIM card when you can just Facebook call a friend for free, basically? So it sort of is like a paradigm shift that is happening, that people are not going to have to pay for be able to communicate with others. We can also see how phones are basically getting cheaper outside of the Western world. Branded phones that just keeps going up in price. Some even cost $2,000 now. But if we look at China, you can see that you can even get a quad-core phone right now for $50, and a 4G phone you can get for around $70. So this is clearly, the phones are clearly heading towards zero also in cost eventually, which is very, very interesting, because the more you empower the users, the more people can do for, and when they can use given the tools, the more innovation can happen, basically. So that thing also is going towards zero. And you can also see a trend how most of the physical tools that we needed, gadgets and things like this is heading, everything of that is heading towards the cloud. So when you digitize everything, when you make everything digital, the cost is also going down even lower, because people dealing with physical stuff, or I mean digital stuff, so it can be replicated, it can be shared in a way more abundant way. And we have cool token projects going on right now. One is called Elastos. They are basically going to be able to make it so, let's say you buy a Kindle book or something, you buy a digital book, basically you can become a real digital owner of that, and you can sell that digital copy to a friend for the same price, or maybe even lower the price, so they can basically get something for free that you maybe spend some on. But you can open up a very interesting market when you can really become a digital owner. So we have all these emerging technologies: blockchain, AI, cryptocurrency, nanotechnology, 3D printing. All of this is coming together in the same decade, which is going to be 2020 to 2030, and it's going to make so many services that we used to pay for. It's basically going to make it free. Okay, so it's going to be interesting to see then what humans are basically going to do with their disposable income, if they're just going to stack it up, or how society is going to change in general. It's a very, very fascinating question, because if you look at Google, it's something I talked about in other DTube videos. If you try to look at people discussing the future, 2025, 2030, 2040, there's not really that much discussions going on about that, because everyone is like trying to grasp what is happening this month, this day, just because the speed up of certain technologies, it's just going faster and faster. But I find it exciting how many services that is heading towards zero in cost, and it is also very, very worrying also, because what is going to happen with the more low-skilled jobs. What are people going to do? And yeah, there's a lot of nuanced topics, which is also one of the main reasons why I'm sort of am a talking head these days, because I feel that as technology becomes more abundant, as people have the tools, they have the tools, right? But they still sort of need guidance. And so I feel like we need more vloggers, we need more talking heads, we need more people that sort of dive deeper into things, because we got to be honest, the most intelligent technology right now is our brain, and people basically need to, if they use it more and do videos like this, if they talk more, I feel that is a really valuable asset right now. Because a lot of people use consumers, or maybe like passive, and they're not using their full potential at what they really could be doing, right? So exciting times. Where what I think is going to happen is we're going to buy more digital stuff in the future. So instead of a person buying a 30,000 BMW, they're going to buy some digital assets, and not just tokens. They're going to buy maybe a digital dragon in a game for $30,000 or something like that. And the cool thing with these assets is that they don't depreciate as a car is doing. They probably will mostly appreciate, especially if maybe they buy digital dragon for $30,000 in a game that's highly popular, and they can track how development on that game's going. They can have an easier way to contact the developers and the community. For example, if a person buy a BMW, they don't have access to, let's say, the CEO of that or the community around BMW. Yeah, maybe they can find a forum on the internet, but it's way different when everyone owns some digital shared asset, and when everyone has incentive to make that grow. So when everyone owns a 30,000 digital dragon, everyone wants it to grow, right, in value to $40,000. So there is a limitless possibility basically in the digital world, and that can open up so many new worlds for people to basically explore. And basically what life was between 1900 to up to year 2000, the year of the masses, where you need a lot of human energy to produce some output. We're changing right now. We're changing to we're moving into something else, right? We're moving into something else. We sort of, and that's exciting, to be honest. It's very exciting. So yeah, quickly a video talking about that. Some services that is going down to zero. Music listening, video, watching professional videos, and or professional TV shows, for example, and then what more did I say? Transportation, basically, and like cell phone costs. Buying a cell phone, that's something that's going to be something of in the past. In the future, okay, it still sounds maybe a bit crazy, but when people become more abundant, they become more open-minded, and they start to think more about this rent and share economy that is basically happening. Rent and share economy plus digital ownership. Basically, every physical asset can be stored in the digital cloud, basically, and you can use share or change owner very, very fast in a very, very effective way. So yeah, quickly a video talking a little bit. Hopefully you sort of understood what I talked about. Have an awesome day, DTube. Have an awesome day, Steam blockchain. Bye bye.